fam. Welcome to Fabulosity for You, where the fashion is fierce, the celebrity gossip is hot, and the relationship advice is real. Today, I am going to be discussing the Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're going to be going over reviewing episode 17 and episode 18. Okay, so let's get right into this. So, the last time we talked, we left off that at the party where Rachel was having her Studio 54 birthday party, okay? And so, Dorit goes to the party and everybody's there. And she's like saying in a confessional, she just wish she had some support. Nobody except for Bose and Rachel support her. And just looking at Kyle over there taking pictures with her minions, which is Amanda and Sutton, really got on her nerves. So she starts walking around, getting her a drink, talking to people. And she looks up and she sees Bose at the table, well, on the couch talking to Erica. And by the way, everybody looked very nice. I love everybody's outfit. I think the best outfit to me may have been Erica. But I definitely like Jennifer's, her shirt and boots matched. They were like real disco. And her head wrap matched. It was really beautiful. And she even had a drink called the disco. Okay. So, of course, Rachel's party looked fabulous. And so, it was Kyle started talking, sitting at the table, talking to Sutton. Of course, they were talking about Dorit. She's like, I can't believe she talked like that at the dinner when they were in Italy. I can't believe she talked like that, how she talked to us, how she act like we're not her friends anymore, and Bose is this and Bose is that, and how she called Erica, of all people, I'll see you next Tuesday. And Dorit had the look in her eye, like, you know, like they all invested and she's happy. She's acting like she's glad to hear her talk about Dorit. And I think the problem with Sutton is that because Dorit has no money, she has no values. Sutton wants to hang with the women that have the money, that has the clout, like Kathy Hilton and Kyle. And she feels like, hey, Dorit can't do nothing for her. Dorit is not in her class. She already told her last season, fight with somebody that has your money. You don't have my money. And something like that she said. So she already let us know that she probably feels like Dorit is the underdog and she doesn't want to be on the underdog side. She wants to be with the girls that have the money and the clout. So then she looks and she sees that Dorit has walked over to where Erica and Bose are. So Jennifer comes to the table with Kyle and Sutton and is like, oh, let me go over there and check the scene out and see what's going on. So she goes over there first. And she has small conversations with Dorit. So then all of a sudden, Kyle and Sutton come over there. So Sutton sits right next to Dorit. And she's like, oh, you look nice. And la, 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 la. And she said, have you talked to Kyle? And she was like, no, I have not. I have not talked to Kyle. wow, well, I think maybe you should talk to Cal. And she said, well, I've just been going through so much. My daughter, she's been homeschooled and she had to go to school for the first time. And oh my gosh, she's really upset about it. And it's just a lot. I'm just not in a headspace. And she said, well, why don't you just apologize to her and tell her that you will talk to her soon. And Dorit eyes be like, not Dorit, Sutton eyes be getting like real small, like she up to no good. And that's how her eyes were looking, like she was up to no good. And so that's what really got on Dorit's nerve. Dorit was like, hold up. Why would I be apologizing to her when she has not called me? Thank you for your advice, but no thank you. I'm not doing that. And she was just looking at her like, so as she was saying this, Rachel comes over and she can see that Dorit looked like she was in distress. So she was like, Dorit, are you okay? And she was like, well, somebody's trying to tell me I need to apologize and what I need to do. And she was like, oh, no, we're not having that today. I want you to have fun. Or you're going to do some dancing. Do you need any more vodka? And she was like, I definitely do. So she said, come go with me. So when she got up, Sutton was like, oh my God, I just got shut down. Can you believe that? They shut me down. And then everybody else was like, oh wow, you got shut down. So I just thought that was crazy. The thing is, and this is my opinion, nobody really has a storyline. And when I say nobody, I mean Sutton and Erica do not have a storyline. And really, to me, Cal doesn't have a storyline. She's not talking about her husband and they divorce and what's going on. Only time we know what's going on because it's bits and pieces in the news and somebody brings it up when he's with a woman. But other than that, she's not talking about it. She's not talking about her real personal life with her country singer. She's not talking about anything. She showed her kids getting married, but who really cares, you know? So she's not, and that's her daughter's life. That's not her life, okay? So everybody's storyline is Dorit. And so I just feel like Sutton was looking for a moment. She thought she was going to have her go off, and maybe she would have, and they would continue to banter, but Rachel stepped in. And they really kind of looked disappointed when Rachel stepped in, because that might have been a moment. So Dorit is minding her business. Dorit has gone on. She's talking to other people. And in the meantime, Sutton was like, I'm going home. And they was like, why are you going home? I don't like how she dismissed me. I mean, she's acting like she Queen Elizabeth. You know what I mean? And they was like, her and Kathy was like, come on. Cal and Kathy was like, let's go in another room and talk. What happened? Well, you know, I was talking to her and she was telling me about her kids. And then all of a sudden, Rachel comes and she stopped talking to me. And they basically left me. I don't like how they did me. I don't feel good about it. And I'm not going to pretend like I want to be here when I don't. I don't want to be here. And they was kissing her behind. It was like, no, don't let, here go Cal. Don't let that bitch make you leave. We haven't even danced yet. And so Kathy was like, this is not the Sutton I know. You wouldn't let nobody run you off. Go talk to her. So again, they want a moment. So Sutton gets up and looks for Dorit. Dorit is in the middle of a conversation. Looks like she's having a good time. And she taps her on the shoulder saying, can I talk with you? So she jokingly said to the lady that she was talking to, oh my God, I'm going to hate her to the end. Something like that. But it was a joke. And so she's like, oh, so you're going to hate me to the end? She said, it was a joke. Well, you didn't say it was a joke. I just want to tell you, my feelings are hurt. My feelings are hurt of how you dismiss me like that. They're very hurt. And I didn't appreciate that. And I thought we were working on our friendship. And Dorit was giving her some lips. Dorit was giving looks, baby. She was like, really? Okay, well, I'm sorry. I am so sorry if your feelings were hurt. But did you really mean it? Are you really meaning it? And Dorit was like, I said it, so I meant it. What can I do to make you feel better, to make you believe that I'm sorry that somebody interrupted our conversation and I was talking? That somebody came up to me and I started talking to them because they talked to me? What would you like me to do? And so she said, I just don't believe you. So you know what? Dorit was like, the hell with this. The hell with this. And she walked off and said, you weirdo. And she told her, baby, you looking for a moment. This is what this is. And I don't think she said it in this episode, but she said it in the next episode when we get to it. But she called her weirdo and walked away. And everybody's over there looking all shocked. They wanted a reaction out of Dorit. To me, they wanted an argument so that they can have a moment. And that's just my opinion. And she didn't give it to them. She was unbothered. She's called her a weirdo and walked off. So all the girls have been talking about Dorit the whole night, about her calling Erica, see you next Tuesday. And Erica is like, I don't know, that Bo's asked Erica, what's going to happen with your friendship? Are you guys going to talk it out? I don't know. I really don't know. She called me a see you next Tuesday. She left me in Italy. She left Kyle and I. It's just a lot. We've been arguing. I don't know this person. I don't know if I would even want to work it out with her. And so, you know what? I need a break from her, and I will decide. Now, the thing about that is, Erica had already said, I bought the see you next Tuesday to this group. Okay, so you're late. She called, I believe she called Dorit a cunt before. She did. She has had arguments, has said bad things to Dorit. When she was going through her stuff with her marriage in the beginning and all the lawsuits, she gained weight, she was drinking a lot, she was eating a lot, she was taking medication, she was drinking, and she was a big fool, okay? And she talked any old kind of way to Dorit. So what makes you better? See, I just feel like everybody's surprised that, to me, I think that Cal used Erica to be her mouthpiece and get her straight, and she couldn't. And Erica put on the Erica Jane where she's the ice queen. And the way she talked to Dorit was very belittling at that dinner. Okay? So Dorit was not taking it. So Dorit did say cunt. But at the end of the day, she should have said that because she was talking real down to her. She told everybody, this is between me and Cal. And all Cal is saying is, well, she said the same thing, and she said the same thing, so she said the same thing, so how come I can't say it? And she said, quit talking about everybody else. This is between you and I. What did she not get with that? So, next thing you know, Dorit comes back to the group and says, hey, I'm having a party, book party. My picture of my book has been released, and I wanted to reveal it at a party. And I appreciate everybody is welcome to come to support. And they was looking at her like she was crazy, and I was kind of looking at her like she was crazy, because I'm like, girl, you just argue with everybody. So who gonna come to your party? Except for Bose and Rachel, you know. And the people that aren't the main characters, like Kathy and Jennifer. But those girls aren't coming. So they looked at her like she was crazy, you know. And so one by one, the next day, I guess, was the party. And Cal was the first person. And her daughter was getting married. And she said she had a lot to do. And she's not going to be able to make it. Now, what I liked about Cal, she had class. She did what you were supposed to do. And that was to call a person and let them know, hey, I'm not going to be able to be there. Can't make it. So then, I believe it was Bowles called Sutton. Or Sutton called Bowles, but they were talking. And Bowles asked, are you coming to the party? And she was like, no, I don't think I'm going to come. Now, let me back this up. So, Sutton called her mama up. And they were on FaceTime. And she was telling her mother about all what happened. Some brief descriptions on what happened in Italy. And then she brought up Dorit and said, I thought we were going to be able to make things work and be friends. But she's been lately treating me very bad. She really treated me bad at the party the other night. And now she's saying, so her mother said, well, wait a minute. Dorit is going through a lot. Dorit, I remember when I got divorced from your dad. It was a lot. I took misplaced anger. And so she even gave Dorit more compassion than her own daughter. And to be honest with you, Dorit did absolutely nothing to Sutton. Well, Sutton had to act like that. Especially considering how Sutton treated her last season. And so for her to make this big deal out of, because Rachel came talking to her, that she felt like she was being dissed. She don't like Dorit. Let's just understand that. And she wanted to be on Kyle's team. Okay. So she said, well, she's having a book party when she doesn't have a book, but she has a picture of herself that she wants to reveal. And I just don't want to go. And so her mother was like, well, if you don't want to go, don't go. So she ended up telling Bose first that she wasn't coming. And Bose was kind of disappointed, you know. And so she ended up calling. She did text Dorit and let her know that because they got into the argument, she didn't like how she treated her the other day. She didn't feel comfortable in coming, and she will not be there. Now, let's get to Bose. Bose ended up getting engaged. She looked so beautiful. And her man, he had on he had on a fly jacket, honey. That he was working the room with that jacket. It was absolutely beautiful. He had this big carat ring for her. He got down on one knee. He told her how much he loved her. Talked about some moments that they had. And it was just really beautiful. I was so happy to Bose. Congratulations, Bose. Bose got it going on, honey. And she looked very beautiful. So, okay, so Amanda's talking to her husband, and she was like, I don't know if I want to go. You know, this girl, she's giving me hell all summer. But the only reason that I may go is because I want to support women. This is a time for her where she can get on her feet and make a coin. And so because of that, I probably will go. So everybody is at the, Dorit's party, and Kathy showed up. Of course, Jennifer showed up. They said that, I think Nicole, I don't know if her name is Nicole or Natalie. I think Nicole was sick. And so Rachel shows up. And so it was a nice little crowd in there regardless. And so she already knew. She was telling her, I guess it was her book agent or something, that some people aren't coming, Cal's not coming, Sutton's not coming. And honey, she was calling all of them cunts again. She was like, to hell with them bitches. Because at the end of the day, she said, regardless of what I went through with Sutton, I came last season to everything she had. Okay, I supported her. I supported Kyle. I supported Erica. So for them not to support me, I just don't get it. That's how she felt. Okay. So everybody's like, is Erica coming? Is Erica coming? So next thing you know, they show Erica knocking on Sutton's door. And they was like, I know everybody gonna think we planned this, but we didn't. But they did. And honey, they had roasted. All they did was roast Dorit, honey. Everybody's been roasting Dorit. And Erica was like, that called me a see you next Tuesday, thinking I'm gonna come to her party? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I didn't even call her, okay? Maybe that'll get her attention. So Erica was real nasty, very nasty. And it's funny, as I said, because she didn't call people a see you next Tuesday in every name in the book, okay? But I guess when Dorit fights back, everybody gets upset. So, Sutton was like, well, I don't like how she treated me. And at the end of the day, I did give her a call, though. I did text her. And she said, I didn't even do that. And not going to do it. Don't feel bad about it. So, now Dorit knows that Erica's not coming because they're well into the party. So she then reveals her book cover. And it was a proud moment for her because this is something that she's doing for herself and could make some money. And so she's so excited. The picture was absolutely beautiful. Of course, people had comments like, okay, this is a I'm hot type of moment. You showing you look good. And she did look beautiful. But sometimes you have to do things if you're proud and to just lift you up when you're going through the valley, honey. When you're going through some tough times. You do what's going to make you feel better and lift you up. So I'm not mad at her about that. So Rachel reveals at the party to Dorit that her husband, well, I don't think it was this episode, it was the next episode. So let me continue. So Dorit lets Bose know that, hey, it's your moment now. And so Bose shows her ring and everybody's like, oh my God, no, oh, congratulations. And they gave her all the congratulations that she deserves. And so afterwards, Dorit is disappointed, and she's really disappointed. She pretty much knew Cal wasn't going to show. But she was very disappointed with Erica because Erica and her was supposed to be tight. And Erica was one of her confidants, and I guess they confided to each other. So she was really more hurt on Erica, and she already probably knew that Cal wasn't going to come. Plus, she's busy with her daughters. And Sutton, she knows, is really not trying to be her friend. So basically, that's all that happened in episode 17. So we're going to go into episode 18. So what ends up happening is that that's when they go to the next party. So Kathy's having a party for her daughters. Her daughter has a new collection of jewelry or whatever. Invited all the girls. And honey, her house was fabulous. The girls came through. Everybody was looking nice. And so the girls are already sitting on the couch. I believe Dorit came in with Rachel. Rachel was explaining to Dorit about her husband. Her birthday was 3 days ago, and then 3 days later was her husband's girlfriend's birthday, and he put on social media that he loves her and happy birthday. And she was embarrassed about it because they're still married, and he's just has flaunting this woman, and it's like he's picking somebody that's similar to her with the same birthdays, and that's a stylist. But let me tell you something. I don't care who he picked. It's not her. Okay? Let me tell you something. Rachel is an icon. Okay? She's a bad woman. And he's not going to find another Rachel. So if I was Rachel, I wouldn't care. But hey, that was her husband. And I guess you will feel a little something when your man has moved on. Okay? So Dorit is listening, and Dorit, she feels her. She says, I think this is what PK would do to me, and I would feel just like you. So she had this bag. It was so funny when she came to the party. She had this bag that says, do not disturb. And she just, Rachel's going through a lot, okay, with her husband and the divorce and trying to keep it away from the kids and all of the things. And so I can see why her and Dorit are really close, because they both going through a lot. And they doing it together, and they leaning on each other. Okay, so they walk in, and Dorit is like, oh my God, they look like the lion's den. They was all the girls was all at one on the couch, and everybody's still talking about Dorit. And I don't think they thought Dorit was going to come. But honey, Dorit walked in looking gorgeous. Okay, and so she walks in, and they sit down, and she said, wait a minute, I got to give me a drink. And she let me have a triple if I can. But anyway, she walks over there. She sits down. Right away, Kyle says, I heard about the party, and I heard it was a success, and I'm really happy for you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, and da-da-da-da-da. But then, again, I felt like you and I have been having a lot of issues. I really don't know where we stand. We haven't talked to each other. So I didn't feel comfortable coming. And so Dorit was like, well, I understand that. I do. I understand that. But who I don't understand is Erica. Now, let me tell you something. Erica's face was beat. Her face was beat, honey. She looked good sitting on that couch. She did. And so Erica, she had that cold look that she gives when she's ready to tell people off. And honey, she was sitting there ready, okay? Ready. And so she was like, well, Dorit, I didn't want to come. Why would I come when you called me a cunt? And on top of that, you left Kyle and I. Why would I? And she was like, I didn't think what I did deserved what you gave. I don't. What did I do? What did I do? Now Dorit do know she called her a cunt, okay, and all of the things, and when she asked for an apology at the table for leaving them, when Erica asked Dorit for an apology for leaving them in the city they were at in Italy, Dorit said, I don't owe you shit. I don't owe you shit. And so I didn't think she really owed them an apology, because she said to them, hey, girls, let's go. And Erica was like, I'm not going. And of course, there's a car there that came to pick them up. I don't care what they said. There was a car. So, but Dorit is still acting like she doesn't get it. And I think she's acting like she doesn't get it because, as I said before, and they show clips of Erica snapping off on Dorit. And even though she got snapped on by Erica in the past, she always still supported her. So what made this time different? I think is what Dorit was trying to figure out. But Erica was so cold-blooded. Erica was like, I didn't want to come. That's why. And I didn't want to call. And so somebody said something about, asked her about them being friends. And she said, you know what? I don't know about that either. I don't know. I have to think about it. Erica was still being a bitch. And Dorit was totally hurt. Dorit was hurt. I didn't even go into this. But Dorit was real hurt last, on season 16. She was very hurt when Erica came at her. And that's because she never had no problems with Erica. Erica has joined forces with Kyle because Kyle is really her best, who I guess was her best friend. Because she just turned on Dorit. And Dorit was like, I don't even know who I'm talking to right now. And she said, I don't know who I'm talking to. And Dorit was like, I have to process this. I really do. If this is, and then she said in confessional, if this is who she is, and this is how she wants to treat me, I don't need friends like that. Now, as I go back to episode 16, I believe, whenever Dorit called her a cunt, Erica came at her really bad. I mean, she just was snapping off on her. And she kept saying it's between me and Kyle. But I think, like she said, Kyle has her minions. And so she put the battery in Erica's back. And Erica looked like she really didn't want to do it. Because afterwards, she cried. And I don't think she just cried because she called her a cunt. I think she cried because she really didn't want to snap off the way she did. But maybe she had to do it. From what I heard, the productions was making her do it. But I don't know that to be a fact, but that's what I heard. And I believe it because she really looked hurt, like she didn't want to have to do that. But she did it, and what everybody couldn't believe was Dorit stood up for herself. And so in the moment that these two ladies were talking, Dorit had hurt all over her face. She said, I just don't know you. 1 minute you're nice, now you this. You've changed, and you changed like overnight. And so she was like, and you've changed, and you've changed. She was like the ice queen. And she was like nasty, And so Dorit was like, I don't need this. I don't need it. So the girls walk away because Dorit had walked away. And they're outside. And Sutton's like, I'm going to go back in. Now, by this time, I think Dorit was sitting with Bowles and Rachel. And she comes in. I just feel like I didn't like how you treat me. I watched you treat your friends like shit. And I don't like it. And you owe everybody an apology. And honey, Dorit was like, girl, if you don't get out of my face. And she said, I mean it. You need to get on out of here. Well, she said, I'm going. And I was leaving. And she said, you need to leave. I don't care about being friends with you. We ain't got to be friends. She said, all you looking for, honey, is a moment. And I'm not giving it to you. And that's all. That is all Dorit was looking for. Sutton was looking for. She was looking for a moment. She wanted to be able to get some stuff started at the end, because this is the end of it until we get to the reunion. So she wanted to put her jabs in there, you know. And so Kathy and her daughter and everybody down there was laughing. But, you know, because Dorit was loud, and she told her, I mean it. Get out of my face. But she said, but your bow was nice. She had this big old bow on the back of her dress looking like a fool, honey, looking like a butterfly. And somebody said something, and she said, honey, I was lying. I think Bo said, oh, well, that is a nice bow. She said, honey, I was lying. I said, you know, the season is over. This was the last season episode of this season. Of course, they're going to have I think they're going to have three reunions episodes. They're going to have 3 of them for the reunion. But at the end of the day, I just have to say this. I believe that Cal really did have an agenda. I believe she wanted to turn the girls against Dorit. I believe that. I don't believe Dorit's hands are clean. I think that it was really all about herself. She did show that with her friends. She was interested in what Rachel was going through. She would listen to her. She was interested on what Bowles had to say. But I believe that she's really had enough of Cal, and she really couldn't talk about Erica's business because Erica wasn't sharing it, and she didn't give 2 flying nothing about what was going on with Sutton. And so I think that she feels like they're not her friends. She was really surprised on Erica, and she was hurt. But I think that overall, I like that Dorit stands up for herself. And I think they were all shocked when she stood up to Erica. And even though if they made Erica get down like that, I believe she was also shocked that Dorit spoke up to her as well. Because a lot of people don't speak up to Erica. A lot of people are scared of Erica. And so Dorit stood on her own. Dorit stood up. She didn't need nobody having her back. She didn't need nobody to fight her battles. She fought her own battles. And she got a lot going on. I heard her, as I said, her house was in foreclosure. We saw her credit cards declined on screen. We saw all of that. We saw her husband, you know, he doesn't want her. He's with another woman. All of that is hard, especially when you have small children, okay? So it's not just her. She doesn't know how she's going to take care of herself the way she had been living. I don't think she could afford how she was living without her husband. And so she has a lot going on. And one thing she did not resort to, you didn't see her drunk. You didn't see her taking, you know, some people take the anxiety medicines, and she could have, but she wasn't drinking, so she didn't go crazy. Whereas everybody else had really a bad meltdown. Now, she might have been, people felt like she was aggressive. But she was always defending herself. And she knew that no matter what Cal was trying to make her a little crazy, like, no, I didn't have no agenda. Girl, you sound crazy. You talking about minions? Or I have a minions? And no. Yes, she did. Yes, you did. And so I think regardless of what she's going through, she's looked amazing. She didn't gain no weight. So she handled it better than Erica. She handled it better than Sutton. She handled a lot of things as best as she did, as she could. And I commend her on that. It's hard the things that she's going through. And I can't say nothing about Erica because Erica didn't really tell her business. We heard the tease, but she didn't really talk about it. Really give us a lot of information or, you know, tell us what she's going through. We heard her talk with her therapist, but we really didn't hear her get into her stories like Dorit did. So Dorit saved this season because nobody else had anything to talk about. And she got turned on, and honey, she was fighting. She was fighting back. And so I like that about her. And like I said, I felt that this season was real. Some people didn't like this season, but I think this season was very real. People go through real things. It's not gonna always be warm and fuzzy. And sometimes it's gonna be real life. And they gave real life with Dorit and what all the girls are going through. Sutton's being an empty nester. All of that is hard on people. And so it was real life. And so I can't wait to see the reunion. And I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you like the tea that's on this channel I give, celebrity gossip tea, relationship advice, fashion. If you like all of that, make sure you click on the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. I'm working hard to try to get there so I can have a giveaway, okay? And so let me know in the comments, what did you think about this season? I'll see you in the next video.